Oh my God. These people do not know the average citizens the way we think. I think they actually think we just want to watch people suffer and get in a lot of trouble. I come from a world where criminal behavior is pretty normal, and most of those people are not bad people. They're usually good people in bad circumstances. And those people, I don't want to see those kind of people getting in any trouble. If they're just being used and manipulated because they're vulnerable, well, then no, I think that you should untie their hands and give them a chance to make things right. But you've got puppet masters and people working for them that know full well what they're doing, that are real criminals, that are really trying to take over this country, dismantle our Constitution and everything that this country is built on. They're corrupting our morals and our values so that we accept whatever frickin' rule. Anyways, the IG report is now releasing their stuff gradually. I think they're testing the waters personally, because so far all I'm hearing about is some FBI lawyer falsifying documents. Okay, yeah, they should get smacked on the hand, but if they didn't know and they really truly believed they were doing what was good for the country, okay, they lose their job, they get a fine, maybe a couple days behind a jail cell. But you shouldn't come down too hard on those people. I mean, like Roger Stone, Julian Assange, and now this new FBI person. Okay, if they made a mistake, they got petty crimes, okay, I understand that. But why is it the real criminals like Baker and Comey and McCabe and Rosenstein and Hillary and the Clintons and the Bushes, why aren't they in trouble? They're war criminals. They have destroyed this country on purpose with the intention of overthrowing our Constitution. They are literally going down the list and violating every one of our basic rights, including the president's right to due process as a citizen. I mean, what the hell? And now they're just focused on one person. They go through this investigation for the last 3 years, and they got one person that screwed up. Give me a freaking break, man. There were people that signed off on that stuff and didn't make sure that the information was legitimate. There were people that gave false information to this lawyer. And yes, the lawyer edited it and should be in trouble too. But the people who knew damn well what they were doing and were framing the President of the United States, framing any of his base to look like wicked, evil Nazis, when the real Nazis are actually the people who are manipulating everybody and lying to everybody. The mainstream media is a pretty damn good example, along with who knows who else. Universities, pharmaceutical industries. The Nazis set themselves up and reestablished themselves as a shadow government throughout the world. And now they're sitting there making us all look like Nazis and all these other evil things, when in reality, they're the ones who are responsible for all of this. And instead of doing the right thing and prosecuting these people, we're seeing the little guys that they used and manipulated go down, while they just continue to skate around freely, making up laws as they go. This is bullshit. This IG report so far, the fact that they're even making it public so openly tells me that they don't intend to do shit. If they were prosecuting any real criminals, they would focus on that before they go and release everything to the public. So that just doesn't add up to me. And so far, it sounds like one person has been identified as being in trouble. One person, and that person was just manipulated like everybody else, I bet. They may have known what they were doing, but I would bet that they probably believed they were doing what was best for the country and believed that the president was really the boogeyman. And they got bullshitted, and now they're in trouble, just like all these other lawyers and advisors and people that just did what they thought was right. Okay, fine. If they screwed up, lied, whatever, misled the investigation, whatever, fine. They should get in a little bit of trouble for that. But what about the people pulling their strings? Why is George Soros not banned from this country yet? Why are the Clintons allowed to just run around freely begging people for money through speeches and donations? Why is it the charities that they were, the fake charities that they were running, it's still operating? I mean, why is it nobody's calling out the very real child trafficking rings that have been actually getting busted out, but yet I don't hear anything about it in the news, any coverage on any of the things that matter, just framing the president. That's all I've heard about for the last 3 years. Let's frame the president. We've tried, 7 crimes they've tried to commit, or they've tried to accuse him of committing? That's insane. We've actually, as a collective effort, everybody has researched, everybody involved. We've found factual documentation, witnesses, evidence. Everything has been proven over and over again, and the media continues to lie or just omit important key facts that would clear everybody's name. Instead, they keep continuing to make Trump and anybody that supports him look like the boogeyman. I'm just getting frustrated. I really believed that Horowitz was going to be a reliable person, because I know that he tried to call out that things weren't quite right a long time ago while Obama was in office. And from what I understand, he got demoted or put in a position where he would keep his nose out of things. And from what I understand, he spent his time just quietly collecting and paying attention to what was going on. So I figured for him, this would be good, and he'd be the perfect person to investigate this. But now it sounds like he's just letting everybody, I mean, I don't know if it's his choice, but it doesn't sound like there was very many criminal recommendations or investigations into the actual criminals. But, who knows? Maybe there's more to come. Maybe they're just testing to see what our reaction is. That's my reaction. Whoever this is, they're not even giving the name of who's being investigated. Why? Giving the name would help clear our names, because we've got our families and our friends thinking we're evil, awful people for supporting Trump, because the media is lying through their freaking teeth, or just not reporting anything that would actually prove that we're not a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists. This is bullshit, and I feel like they're just trying to slip this one under the rug again, just like they did with Epstein. Anyways, that's my rant for the moment. I apologize for yelling, but I've been so patient and confident that this stuff is going to work out, and so far it has been. But now I'm starting to see that we're probably being bullshitted, and they're just trying to punish somebody because they think that's what this is all about for us. And I would just like to say, this has never been about punishing people. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, if you commit a crime and you can get away with it and you don't hurt another human being, more power to you. If you don't agree with the justice system or the law or something like that, then yeah, climb into office, become a president, become a legislator, do something where you can actually change the laws and make things go your way. Then you're no longer a criminal. And that's what most of our politicians are doing in office, is they change the laws so that they are no longer considered criminals. Okay, fine, as long as you're not trafficking children and organs and sex and drugs and guns to other countries that despise us. Anyways, this fight has been about making things right for these innocent lives that are being affected, especially children's lives, other women's lives. We have been seeing these lives be abused on a level that is just not appropriate. It's never appropriate, but this is out of control. We should be able to defend our people, and we should be able to count on our law enforcement to be doing that. And that's not what's happening. Instead, they're being told to look the other way. And that's bullshit. our justice system and our government, yes, there's always going to be corrupt people, but you have to ask yourself, what kind of corruption are they bringing into our government? Because, it's one thing to have somebody, I don't know, be a pot smoker, and they don't want to get in trouble because they got drugs in their system. So they might go into office and make a law where you can no longer hold that against somebody who wants to get a job. That's pretty harmless. But now you got a druggie, and never mind. Skip that. Anyways, the point is, there is a level or a red line when it comes to letting people slide and looking the other way from crime. If you want to let the Mexican cross the border with a sack of marijuana and drop it off in Texas and go back home, sure, I'd probably look the other way. But if he's sneaking meth into my fucking country and heavy dangerous drugs, and then offering it to my child and never leaving the country, and then asking us to give him free medical care and food and give him jobs under the table, under false names and things, no, that's a problem. Unless I know you one-on-one and I know you're a good, kind, reliable, hardworking, honest person, I'm not going to back you up on that. Anyways, this has been about getting a balance back to our government where, yes, you got your checks and balances, but we should be able to depend on certain organizations to be who they say they are and not have to worry about them being completely corrupt and scamming us. We're supposed to be running the government. The government is not supposed to be controlling the people. And that's what has been happening. We are trying to take back control of our government. The only way we can effectively do that is to get the puppet masters out of our system, out of our country. When it comes to people like Soros, why is he even allowed to operate like that in our country? Talk about interference. My God. He's playing everybody all the time. And y'all are so stupid that you actually think he's a good guy. Well, I shouldn't say y'all, but a pretty large portion of people are actually fooled by this man. He should be banned from this country. He should be never allowed to donate to any political or government, any political party or government in any country. He should be in prison or put to death, the things that he's behind. Same thing with the Rothschilds. They're behind all these wars, and it just gets so deep. It's just ridiculous. And the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they're to blame for all of these things. And if we don't get them out of our freaking country, out of our government, out of our banking system, out of our everything, this is just going to continue as soon as Trump leaves office. They'll just reorganize and come up with a new plan and continue on until they can eventually brainwash everybody just enough to dismantle our Constitution and our moral and religious values. They almost had it this time. They thought they had us, but there's still just a handful of people left that actually care and have morals and understand the significance behind what this country stands for and the idea of how this country is supposed to run. And I'd say probably 2/3 of the country is totally brainwashed. I just cannot, I'm just shocked. It's all so obvious once you just take a close look at things. It's so obvious. And there's only, I don't know, I guess Trump's base, which probably is somewhere around 1/3 of the country, that actually understands the significance of this country and the importance of the people maintaining control. And, even if he was a criminal who is just trying to save his own butt, he's fighting for the right side. If anything, this is like having a substitute teacher. You get whatever you want out of that person. They just want to survive the day. He wants to get through this, accomplish whatever his motives were, and he's giving us whatever we want, including control back over our government, in exchange for letting, actually it's not in exchange, he's building really good karma. So even if he did a lot of bad things, the more good things he does, that's amplified. And he is directing it at helping us make things right in this country and undo things that should have never been done in the first place. So, I don't know. To me, I've come to realize that all these people are criminals, but there are some that are tyrannical. There are some that are completely out of control and do not have the best interest of the citizens of America at heart. They're fighting on behalf of other people's movements and stuff, and totally disregarding this country. Those people need to be removed. They do not like our constitutional way of life. Those are the same people that keep saying, oh, we're going to ruin our democracy. This isn't a democracy. This is a democratic republic. We have a democratic voting system. And basically, we can do whatever we want, each state, but it has to be within the Constitution that was put out there by our forefathers. And you cannot change that. If you change that, it's too easy to manipulate and undo everything that this country fought for. You can elaborate on it, you can break down a better understanding, whatever. Those original constitutional rights should not be messed with, especially our Second Amendment. They want us to give up our weapons and let them control everything and let them do our thinking for us and decide what is best for us. Yes, it's easier to let somebody else do all the dirty work, but if you never do it, what are you going to do when those people are no longer around to tell you how to think and act, and you have to actually do it yourself? You're not going to know what the hell you're doing. You're never going to have a sense of accomplishment or meaning in life if you never have to make any effort for anything. Whatever, I'm rambling now. Anyways, I don't like seeing the media playing us for fools again, trying to downplay the reality of what all this is about. They're making it all about election meddling and things like that. Sure, that's part of the problem, but we're concerned about everything that led up to that. All the people involved, how they've been manipulating the people in this country, brainwashing people, attacking our country in multiple different ways, bringing people into this country that absolutely hate us. Totally disrespecting our religious morals, our values, our value system that has kept us so strong as a country. Yeah, we got a whole lot of flaws there, but mostly people that live by those basic 10 commandments and respect people's human rights, basic human rights and God-given rights, they're probably good people, whatever they believe in beyond that. These people are trying to undercut all of those things. They have actually, I've noticed that the left has been manipulated into violating every single one of the 10 commandments. And now they're working their way down the list of our Constitution. Every single one of our constitutional rights. They're going down the list and testing to see how we react and what we put up with. And so far, people are so clueless and so hateful that they would rather watch our rights be violated just to see the president get kicked out. When in reality, the psychology, in my opinion, is that these people want to see justice and they feel like they're getting revenge on all the injustices done to them. But the reality is Trump didn't cause all their injustices, and he doesn't deserve an injustice any more than anybody else, than the little guy. We all deserve due process. And if anything, he is the only person I've actually ever seen fight for the right side of the law and for the citizens to be treated fairly and righteously. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm getting a little uncomfortable with the way this IG report is being put out there. I think they're testing to see who can get away with what and trying to minimize. I think they're just trying to appease us as if we'll be happy to just see somebody get in trouble. No, I'm not happy to see anybody get in trouble, frankly. And I only care to see the people who are directly involved in planning all of this and who are framing American citizens to look like really bad, evil people, setting us up and painting targets on our backs, trying to undermine our president and our right to choose who we want for president. Sure, President Trump's not traditional in his behavior, but that's okay. He is authentic in his personality, and that's okay too. No, I don't necessarily agree with the way he carries himself, but I found out what works best for one person doesn't necessarily work best for everybody else. Okay, so he's doing what works best for him. Yes, in general, most of us would never get away with saying or doing half the things he does. He's not trying to be mean. He has a strategy when he's calling somebody a name. If you look a little bit closer, there's actually a legitimate reason for calling them that name, and he's calling those individuals out generally because they're guilty of something or another. He's not trying to be mean to people. And I think most of his base understands enough to realize it's the seed of truth that's important. All the other stuff surrounding it is just noise or a way of bringing attention to the truth. So anyways, I don't know. I'm rambling and I apologize for that, but boy, is this frustrating. There are certain people that should be in trouble that are getting off the hook and no charges or no nothing. Now, I assume that's because there's bigger stuff coming down around them. But so far, I mean, how is it IG Horowitz has this long, drawn out look into what's been going on in the FBI, keeps telling us that he's going to release it, and then stalls it. And now they release a piece of it with an FBI lawyer who edited something, but it didn't really affect anything. They just made a mistake so they'll probably just get a slap on the hand and sent home. Fine, whatever. But where's all the real criminal investigations into the actual people like Comey and all them other guys that are actually committing real crimes against this country? Why aren't these people going down? This is bullshit. There should be a list of people in that report, including in the FBI, that are going down for this. At the very least, the puppet masters, the main players that are behind all of this should be in the ones facing criminal investigations and charges. Anyways, I pray to God that this isn't all that's to it, and this is just the beginning, because this is totally unfair. And no, we are not focused on the individuals involved that have been used and manipulated into framing the president. For the average citizen, we want to see those people who are involved in crimes against humanity go down for their behavior. We want to see people who have been scamming our country in order to dismantle everything that makes this country strong. We want to see those people shut down. If they are not shut down and weakened enough to prevent them from being able to climb back up to the top, they're just going to continue on as soon as they get a chance to squeeze back in the White House, because there are clearly several Americans that are just foolish enough or just hate Trump enough to actually buy what they're being sold. And the fact is, The Democrats have become the party of victims and criminals, and they're sitting there, they don't even realize they're causing each other problems. The victims are being victimized by their leaders of their political party and turned into criminals, and then they get into office and they're now criminals who are victimizing their voters. One, they immediately start lying to you and telling you what you want to hear and never actually intending or have a legitimate plan to follow through with it. Or they plan it and they legitimately mean everything they say, and then they get into office and right away they get put into their place and shut down. Trump is the only person who would have had the ability to stand up to these people despite how much they try to go after him, tell him what to do and destroy him. Because why? Because he's Donald Trump, and he's not going to put up with being told what to do and have his name smeared all over the place. He's not going to submit. He's not a submissive person. So he was the perfect person for this job. Maybe not in general. Maybe in a more peaceful time, he'd probably be the wrong person. But right now, we were about to lose our country, our constitutional rights, our God-given rights. They were trying to turn us into a socialist, communist, global world order. No, that's not happening. So no matter what Trump may or may not be guilty of, he's the one that's fighting for this country. They're fighting for globalism, and I'm going to stand by the American idea over globalism any day, including socialism. So, I don't know. I apologize. That's my rant for today, and you are listening to Just One Voice. Yeah. Have a great day, everyone. I'll try to be a little bit calmer next time.